Hello friend, how is it going? Welcome back to Toyota Maintenance YouTube channel. Yesterday I filmed for you how to find the engine coolant leak on a 2000 Toyota Sienna. This one some of us will call cream puff. Look how shiny that paint is. She has 205,000 miles, but man, from outside and inside, the interior, pristine, beautiful. The owner's taking good care of it. And I basically found, finally, using the pressure tester, the coolant leak. And when I was finishing the day, I thought it was coming from the thermostat gasket only. Right, this will be a thermostat and its gasket, so I got those new. Obviously that will be replaced no matter what, since you are already there, as we say that these parts are not very expensive. When you are already there, you will replace them, because the access and redo will take again too much time. So this is the area, it's down there where it leaks, but after very careful examination this morning, I realized the crystals of coolant are actually in the valley of this V6 engine. The engine is 1MZ-FE. You can see it right here, right? V6. Not easy to work on, unfortunately. And guess what? The bolts for that coolant inlet or water inlet or whatever you want to call it, the bolts are underneath the plenum. So entire intake manifold with throttle body is coming out. The plenum will need to be removed to expose that entire the valley of the V6 engine. And only after that I will be able to fully access that leak area and find out where it is. I believe it's on the right hand side towards to the driver, let's say towards to the interior of the vehicle. I think that's why I saw it leaking most. When I was trying to use the mirror and the iPhone to take pictures, it almost looked like it's from the rear head gasket, but no. It will be the coolant piping which is there. So I want to show you this 1MZ-FE. It's a 3-liter V6 from Toyota. It's that older generation. It has a bunch of weird stuff on it which I don't like to do. For example, do you see that blue right here? Do you see that blue filter, oil filter, right? You do the oil change and it spills all over in the front. I cannot even imagine doing it in the fast-paced environment, because you will most likely burn yourself on the exhaust. So this is not easy engine to work on, obviously. Look just among those hoses, a bunch of stuff, it's already gone and it still looks like a huge mess. So I want to show you the first step. Start it from here and then I will share with you when all will be gone. You will see by yourself, you will see what is going on, where the leak is on this 1MZ-FE. And I will say this is perfect example how the maintenance between V6 and 4-cylinder, the difference, right? The simplicity of 4-cylinder doesn't require all these complicated jobs. You can see the plenum upside down here. I don't want to disconnect the fuel line, so I just put it carefully on the side here. And I immediately grabbed the camera. This is the inlet where it's leaking on the back down there, right? So I saw the leak when the pressure was applied. I saw it on the back, but it was impossible to tell if it's coming from the gasket of the thermostat. the thermostat is still there, you see it, right? I didn't remove it, but the bolts, you probably will see it better than me right now. This water inlet, coolant inlet, the bolts can be only accessed from here. So that's why I removed everything. And I immediately went for the camera. So you see the mess, which is normally accumulated here. And you see the mice activity, which nobody could find, right? Do you see that? This is the insulation somewhere from the car or the house, somebody's house. It's all this junk, chunks of plastic down there. So all of it I will be cleaning right now immediately and continue with removing this inlet. I have to vacuum carefully and not to drop. You have to always make sure you drop nothing in these intakes, ports where the valves are. So I will be plugging it while I'm vacuuming. This is another spot right in center of screen. This whole gasket needs to be replaced because there will be another leak where you see that orange. That's definitely could cause leaks in the future on both sides, right? That's where it connects. It's right here. That's where the orange parts are. So that has to be all replaced, cleaned. And this is the reason, the part right in middle right now, it's leaking somewhere on the side. I think I saw large amounts of black FIPG. So I'm not sure how many times somebody was here in past. But this is what I want to show you. That's exactly what you don't see every day. Right, let me grab that camera better. You don't see this every day. This is interesting. Are you ready for the final horror? Look at this. I removed these. I had the rags here to covering the intake just to show it to you. So this is the valley, and this is the design of 1MZ-FE. See the remainings of that rubber gasket. This is definitely one of those bad designs in my opinion. But who am I, right, to talk about this? I show you what the part which came out, how it looks like. But mainly, here is the crystallization right there. It's underneath that head gasket, right? So right there are the crystals. Do you see them? And that's what was confusing me a little bit. First, because it's coming really direct from the head gasket. Obviously, it was only because there is a very limited, almost non-existent visibility to this area. So that's basically, I will touch it right here. It was leaking right here when I'm touching with that light. That's where it failed. That's where it occasionally leaked. It was intermittent. But you see all that mass and crystallization. This valley was wet. That mice insulation, that was wet. My vacuum actually was sucking the wetness inside. There's a puddle next to it as it came back out of the hose. So this is it, my friend, 1MZ-FE. I'm not sure if I will recommend this to you as a DIY. That depends on your patience and how many tools you have. There are areas which are hard to get to. Interestingly, right, there are these supporting brackets for the intake. The 14mm bolt was here, but this was not hooked. The people who did the valve cover gaskets skipped one bolt and one supporting bracket. Other than that, they had it nicely put back together. In order to remove this internal part, I had to remove both knock sensors. It will not go up. I'll show you the sensors. I separated them. This is front and this is the rear towards to the cabin. I'm also questioning this. I normally, you know me, I love what Toyota did. I normally say it's easy to work on Toyotas, but look, this is what was holding down the whole part. Now what's the part finally, Peter? Show it. This is the part. So that's what's holding down the entire part. But look at the crystallization. I think it's not very smart that you use 10mm. I will definitely go for 12mm because we know it will be exposed to the coolant. The designer should anticipate, the engineer should anticipate that this one day, sooner or later, will start leaking, and therefore there will be a rust. It's a heat and coolant. Well, what it creates? That creates severe rust. There is still one stuck. Future. So as you can see, I have to get rid of the coolant. I have to clean everything perfectly. This is costly. This will cost this owner. There will be a bunch of gaskets from Toyota, which are not cheap. The platinum gaskets are not cheap. They don't cost $5. I can tell you that. Plus a lot of labor. I will need a coolant. I will have to bleed the entire engine, right? Because I lose half of the coolant to add it, bleed air out. So this is labor intensive, and I'm very happy I made decision to film it for you, at least these few steps. This is spillover from yesterday. I have another car waiting outside, but whatever. I'm like, you don't see this very often. It's, I will say, unfortunate design. I don't like it. And I will personally, if I can avoid that, I will never buy these older Toyotas with this V6. I will always go, if it's Sienna, it will be 2MZ-FE, right? E, the V6, which is the later engine with timing chain and so on. Not these old ones. That it's old design, it's overcomplicated and unfortunately costly to repair. So thank you for watching. If you like the video, please always give it a thumb up. That helps apparently. And stay tuned. I have way more coming your way soon. See you later, my friend.